Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course, you're finding the good. It's Friday. It's the 11th of Tammuz. I hope you had a great week and a successful week. Today's Hayom Yom is more informative. We're talking about a section of the Tanya called Igeres HaTshuva, but a small message on the front end before I start reading and I lose the audience. Teshuvah. Teshuvah is really about returning to ourselves. We have different phrases that we use. Somebody's a Baal Teshuvah, or we do Teshuvah. Essentially, it is that we're coming back to ourselves. We're finding out more about ourselves, more about our soul, and try to move back in a positive way, closer to God. And the message of today, and the idea of today, is that this is really a life mission. It's not going to happen in one day. We're going to have ups and downs, but essentially, as long as we're moving towards that goal, and the idea is that we're getting closer to God, and we're doing more Torah and mitzvahs, and we're trying to be better people, that is the concept of Teshuvah. Let me read today inside. I'll also read a little bit about the background. It's more reading. There isn't any heavy message that I can deliver, so I will do my best and give it to you with a positive energy. First of all, in the Zolkve edition of Tanya, which was one of the editions that appeared in the year 5559, also the year 1779, and that is the gematria or the numerical value of Mavaser Tov, which means bringing good tidings. The first version of Igeres HaTshuva was included. It was not divided into chapters, and there are considerable variations from the ultimate version in the text itself. I will also read some background if you would like to continue to listen. For some years, the teachings were ultimately to constitute the chapters of the Tanya had circulated in separate manuscripts and pamphlets known as kuntresim. The Alter Rebbe finally decided to publish them as a book in order to counter the effects of unintentional copyists and errors that were being intentionally made in misrepresentations. The first edition comprised of only 53 chapters of Tanya, the Likutei Moharan, and the 12 chapters of Shar HaYichud Ve'emunah. It had first appeared in Slovakia in 1796, and by 1799, when the above-mentioned second edition appeared in Zolkva, the first edition had already been printed and reprinted a total of 40,000 copies. When a copy of that edition first reached the hands of the saintly Reb Levi Yitzchak Perditchev, he stood amazed at how the author compressed such a great masterful of the universe in such a tiny book. On Shavuos in 1978, the Rebbe instructed that the initial version of the Tanya be published, and he stressed that the text was not merely being made available for scholars and historians, rather any reader could gain significant insights by studying the text's original draft in comparison to its final version. So essentially today was more about the history of Igeres HaTshuva, but the idea and the concept of today is Teshuvah. It's a life mission. Don't get frustrated. Every day is a day of growth. Every day needs to be better than the last. Have a great Shabbos. Have an enjoyable Shabbos. And we'll talk more. All the best. Bye-bye.